Oh hey, are you that guy that made that video about the putting machine for rollaways? Yeah, I guess you saw the video. Sure did, man. It was awesome. Have you thought about making a version of the machine that could maybe like launch drivers like a normal flight? Yeah, I'm thinking I could build something like it that might be even able to, you know, standardize flight numbers. Leopard 3, you are clear to engage. Copy that. Hey guys, hope you enjoyed that skit that I came up with. It was actually a lot of fun to make. And while I don't think that my life is actually in danger, it does bring up a really good point. Why aren't there more disc launchers? Specifically, if this social science educated guy with a few tools, an old bike, and some scrap wood could build a functioning disc launching machine in his father-in-law's backyard in a single afternoon, then why haven't any disc manufacturers used the millions of dollars and talented engineers at their disposal to build one? This is especially true for MVP, which claimed a year ago that they were building a machine to prove that gyro does go further. So, why haven't they? Simple answer, I think, is disc sales. Think about it this way. If you owned a company that sold things that was a little bit different for everybody else, and whom the consumer was willing to buy multiples of one disc, or was willing to buy a few different discs to see if, hey, maybe this is what's going to work for me, are you going to create a system that makes it much easier for a purchaser to make an informed decision, and thus probably buy less things? No. No, you're not. The current system of flight numbering narrows it down a little bit for us as consumers, but it's still vague enough that you've probably got a bunch of discs sitting in your closet, or you sold a lot of them to play against sports for about $3 a store credit a piece. I happen to be guilty of both. Thankfully, my wife isn't mad at me. Yet. If there were standardized flight numbers, you could look for the disc that has the exact amount of fade you want or the amount of turn you want. And if I can set my specifications for my apartment lounge's coffee machine, then why can't I do that for a disc? If there were standardized flight numbers, you'd be able to know exactly what disc has that slight amount of turn and slight amount of fade that would work for you, and know which disc from which company that you have to buy it from. And not a single manufacturer or reseller wants you to know that, no matter how altruistic you think they might be. And before you say, it's too hard to build a machine that would throw discs exactly like a human. Well, first of all, you're talking about the species that learn how to take sludge from the crust of the earth and then turn that into something that would allow humans to travel faster than anyone thought possible less than 200 years ago, and then took that sludge and used it to put humans on the moon with less technology than currently exists inside of your Wii remote. So we can probably figure out throwing frisbees. Secondly, aside from my own prototype, there's lots of other ones out there that rather seem promising. Lastly, it doesn't need to throw discs exactly like a human. All it needs to be able to do is throw discs at variable rates of spin and speed, and so that we're able to capture things such as like the degree of turn or the amount of fade. And lastly, things like its glide, which we know are properties of the Coanda effect. So if you want to get really nerdy with me on disc flights, I hope to be interviewing a friend of mine who worked for NASA for years and knows a lot about why discs fly. So subscribe so that you can catch more of that. So while we don't have a disc launcher yet, I think it's only a matter of time until we have multiple. But it's going to take an entity like the PDGA that's outside of manufacturing to step up and take the reins and drive this where it needs to go. And this is not only going to benefit us as consumers, but it's also going to improve the legitimacy of our sport. A professional sport should have a measurement of its professional equipment. Hopefully there's enough resources for that after the development of this magazine. But as we continue to feed the disc-making industrial complex, why don't you consider getting your discs from FoundationDiscs.com using my affiliate link below? A portion of your sale will go directly towards the poor PhD student who's running this channel. It's me. Please help. So what do you think? Are we ever going to get a disc launching machine? And are we ever going to have standardized flight numbers? Let me know below in the comments. Until then, one of the things I'm planning to do with my machine is figure out which basket is most prone to spit outs. So subscribe so that you can catch that. Until next time, that's T Less Traveled. I'll catch you later.